at all.
Well, I'm sure you're into the wind velocity at 10 miles per hour. It is a gorgeous day and should be ideal for the players down on the field. We've donned some jackets up here in the booth. But now it's time to take a look at the Astros lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For A.J. Hinch, he'll line him up with George Springer in the top spot. He had 2 hits last night. Jose Altuve bats second, plays at second. Preston Tucker's in left field. In the middle of the order, Evan Gattis is the DH, the center fielder Colby Rasmus, and at third, Luis Valbuena. And the bottom 3, that home run from Jason Castro has him right back in there. He's the catcher at first base, Marwin Gonzalez, and at short once again it's Jonathan Villar.
On the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays, Drew Hutchinson, 24-year-old out of Florida, making his 12th start on the season. His 3rd start against the Houston Astros. He leads the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff with 54 strikeouts. He has 1 win in his last 4 starts, and that was a complete game shutout of the Chicago White Sox.
And you saw there May 14th against the Astros this year. 6 innings, struck out 9 in those 6 innings, allowing a couple of runs and 5 hits. First pitch is swung on and missed by Springer. George not only had that stolen base you just saw in last night's game, but a couple of hits on the evening. He was the only Astro that did have 2 hits on the game. Hutchison, just 24 years of age, has very good stuff. He has already faced Tommy John surgery.
Going to feature a fastball around 92, 93 miles an hour, slider, occasional changeup.
There's the fastball hit in the right field, moving to his right, Bautista, and there's the first out of the ball game.
On the outfield behind Drew Hutchison, you saw Jose Bautista in right field, Kevin Pillar in center, Danny Valencia in left field, Josh Donaldson, Jose Reyes at third and short. On second base, Ryan Goins. Chris Colabello moves from left field to first base. And Diner Navarro. Keep saying that wrong, don't I? Behind home plate.
Yeah, it's whatever you say is right.
Deoner Navarro.
Deoner Navarro, yeah.
There we go. And I asked you about that before the game.
And he is the veteran behind the dish. Jose Altuve at the plate as Hutchison brings the fastball. 295, that batting average for Jose. Had 1 hit in last night's game, 5 dingers on the year. He has fallen well behind his pace from last year. Early on in the season, 2-3 weeks ago, we were talking about Jose and how far ahead of that pace he had gotten this year. But now over the past couple of weeks, he has slumped, and there's some ground to be made up. Toronto Blue Jays trying to put their season together. They got off to a poor start with a number of injuries. And there's the base hit. Altuve gets one in his first at bat of the afternoon, lining one sharply into left field. With 1 out, it brings up Preston Tucker.
Good pitch to hit on an 0-2 count, especially for Jose Altuve. Loves hitting that fastball. Simple drop of the head. And he can turn it around in a hurry. We've seen him get on some pretty good streaks.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes 1 at bat to get something going. And that was about as solidly as we've seen Jose hang out the line drive here in recent times. The Astros have played 56 games. Last year at this point, Jose Altuve, or through 56 games, had 77 hits. And by the way, through 56 games, had a batting average of .324. So again, he's well below that mark. Preston Tucker still looking to hit that first home run as a regular in the lineup. 2 pinch hit bombs already in the big leagues. And by the way, that base hit for Jose, his 67th on the year, so 10 back of where he was last year through 56 games. Ground ball right side. They'll try to get 2 on to second. The return not in time to get Tucker speeding down the line. So it goes 3-6 on the force play, racing Altuve. 2 outs now for Evan Gattis.
That was a rare changeup from Hutchinson. Pretty good pitch, too. Good pitch at inducing that ground ball. Kind of flattened out over that outside corner. Good exchange. Looks like Tucker. That's what makes it interesting when you get a pitcher over there covering, and it looks like Tucker just barely beat the throw.
Colabello, as Blummer was talking about last night in left field, tonight at first base. Probably more familiar with first base, but probably could have afforded to put a little more zip on that throw towards second base. Evan Gattis takes the strike on the little slider. Drops down to 85 miles an hour. Gattis tied for the leadership on the club with 12 home runs. Hitting .230 on his season. And down on the count, 0-2. And Evans been a hot hitter.
It's a good late break. He threw the get me over for the first pitch strike. Something a little bit nastier to get Gattis to chase.
Gattis took an 0 for last night. 0 for 4. This one gets away from the catcher Navarro. Into second base is Preston Tucker, so a base hit can put the Astros on top here in the first inning. It is a pass ball charged to Dioner Navarro.
Wow.
It's generally called a wild pitch in the dirt.
That beat him 5-hole.
Yeah, it did. Got to get that glove down on the ground. Maple Leafs have had a lot of lean years. I wonder if they've had some times where they've been beaten 5-hole. 1-2 the count on Gattis. And down on strikes. So that does it for the first inning for the Houston Astros. They get a hit and strand a man at second base. Scoreless after a half an inning of play. The lineup of the Toronto Blue Jays, who picked up the win in last night's game. The lineup for John Gibbons: Jose Reyes in the top spot, followed by Josh Donaldson and Jose Bautista. Middle three: Edwin Encarnacion, Chris Colabello, and Danny Valencia. And the bottom three: Dioner Navarro, Kevin Pillar, and Ryan Goins.
Brett Oberholzer, four-year Houston Astros, making his third start on the season. Number's not too bad. 8 1/3, 6 strikeouts. He's had that blister on that index finger.
And the first pitch popped down the right side. Curls back to the seat. Jose Reyes has hit safely in a very modest 3 consecutive games, hitting .283. Spent considerable time on the DL this year, and that's a big loss for the Blue Jays when he's playing well. Switch hitter who can swing it. Guy who has won the batting title in his history. Obi working quickly, brings the changeup and misses up and away. There's that last start for Obi.
Did a good job. Last year didn't throw that cutter much. It seems to be working back into his repertoire this year.
Pop up on the infield. Easy at shortstop. Making the play, Jonathan Villar, and the first out here in the bottom of the first inning.
I think that was that cutter right there. Good pitch. See who's backing up Obi today. Preston Tucker out in left. Colby Rasmus in center field. George Springer in right. Luis Valbuena and Jonathan Villar on the left side. Jose Altuve at second. Marwin Gonzalez making his 5th start at first base. Jason Castro with that home run last night. Back in the lineup today, this day game after a night game.
So Josh Donaldson stands in. A guy who tears up left-hand pitching, hitting .450 on the season against the lefties. Overall on the season, 15 home runs. He's among the leaders, 39 ribbies. And the same story there as Obi evens the count. It's a pitch he's going to need, finding that inside edge.
If he's able to locate it on that inside edge to righties like he just did, it's going to be a good night or a good afternoon.
Tries to come in with the slider. You go Reyes, Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, Colabello, the way he's swinging it right now. That's a tough bunch to get through.
Big time.
And you're talking about right-handed bats. So Obi has to be sharp, working both edges. And right through the heart of the plate. It's 2-2.
Or just get him guessing and sneak a fastball by him.
Apparently maybe guessing breaking ball or changeup. Josh Donaldson has scored 46 runs to lead the American League. Don't think of Josh Donaldson in that way, more of an RBI guy. Right on the hands, grounded to third, 2 big hops.
Throw it. And don't play with it, throw it.
I would have liked to have seen a 5 unassisted. Josh Donaldson is trying to claim the ball hit his left shoe. But the home plate umpire today, Bill Welke.
Well, there's no umpires reacting. Bill Welke's going to go out and ask his counterparts if they saw anything.
John Gibbons, the skipper, came out and probably requested that, but I can't see how anybody's going to change this because none of the other umpires were even indicating that they thought that was a possibility.
And there will be times it hits close enough to get that, the point of the shoe, but just not enough to create a reaction or a funky hop. See, it hits close enough from there, but the way the ball came off the ground, it didn't look like it hit his foot. Maybe off the very end of his toe.
No, that's a tough one to call.
That is.
I actually got away with that one a time or two in my career.
Yeah, you got to be able to react quickly. They called him out.
It's going to be a 5-3 for the second out for Toronto. Donaldson apparently felt something. John Gibbons now comes out again and just kind of checks on things.
The only explanation you can really give him is, I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything. All my friends that are in these dark tops didn't see it either. So that's a great big hang with them.
So 2 outs, bases empty for Jose Bautista. That's about the best way to face this guy. He slammed a 2-run home run in last night's game, his 9th on the season. That home run came in that big 5-run inning the Blue Jays put up. And the way Aaron Sanchez was pitching, it was an easy stand-up for them. 2-0 the count. And if you think about pitching around Bautista. Then comes Edwin Encarnacion. And a 2-1 count. Not very often you'll find Bautista taking when he's in front of the count 2-0. Shift on for the powerful right-hand hitter. And he takes another strike. Just pumping the fastball in there. 2-2 the count.
That was a pretty good pitch on a 2-1 count. I think guys that take 2-0, like a guy like Bautista against Brett Oberholzer, maybe they take that 2-0 to force him to get in the zone.
Tries to come back in.
Not really that fear on Bautista's part against Brett Oberholzer, maybe.
Yeah. You don't have to be overly quick. Bautista is second best in the American League in walks with 36. And draws the walk. So his 37th on the year. It comes with 2 outs and brings up Edwin Encarnacion, the DH. And another one of those extremely powerful bats for the Blue Jays. Bautista has stolen a couple this year in 2 tries. Encarnacion 12 bombs on the season. He's driven in 32. But it's been a slow start, hitting just .218. Obi gets in front.
That'll be key for Obi if he can continue to throw first pitch strikes. Kind of opens up the strike zone a little bit for him, allows him to do more with his pitches.
That .218 batting average this year for Encarnacion, way off the career mark. He's a .263 lifetime hitter. And he's hit 241 major league home runs.
Missed one there.
Yeah, he's nearing .250 at this point in his career. Hit 34 last year, 36 the year before, and 42 in 2012. So he's had some big years in a Blue Jays uniform. In fact, he was 11th in the MVP voting in that 2012 season.
Those were the expectations on him when he was in Cincinnati, hitting at that ballpark.
I think there were a lot of question marks about his defense as a third baseman at the time. And that continued when he came over to Toronto. Pitches hit in the air high and deep, but way foul down the left side. In fact, as some players do, and I know you've seen it, Blummer, when Encarnacion was playing at third base early on with the Blue Jays, he wasn't swinging the bat well and he was making a bunch of errors. And the fans almost booed him off the field. It looked like the Jays had to get rid of him just to move on. But all of a sudden he started hitting a home run here and there, and it clicked. ...2009, the last season, partial season with the Reds. Runner goes, the pitch up and away, and the throw down again. Very good from Castro, and he's called safe.
Throw beat him.
Yes, it did. I think Jason Castro feels he got him.
But I think the reaction from Altuve kind of tells you it all. Bautista did a good job. It's that spiked curveball. Actually, pretty good pitch to run on and for Castro to throw on, but you see a great slide by Bautista going to that outside corner of the bag, and Altuve staying on the inside of the diamond. That's a long reach. Great slide.
Boy, that is a great slide. Stolen base number 3 for Bautista. He's perfect in that category. 2-2 the count on Edwin. Right on the hands, chop foul. That did hit a foot.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's tough when you're Jason Castro. You make a perfect throw. You see the ball ahead of the runner at the bag. And that's one, and you've talked about it, how as an infielder you want to take that throw back over the bag if possible and just lay it down where the need comes.
Yeah, we saw Villar do a great job of it yesterday on that slide with Martin. He straddled the bag. It was a great throw by Castro. Just catch it right above the bag, drop it down on the runner coming in.
Seen some creative slides from the Blue Jays.
Really have. Must have had the slip and slide out earlier.
Outside the ballpark, apparently. Pitch is hit in the air, shallow right center field, and this is going to drop up and over Springer. It's an RBI single. The Blue Jays strike first. It's 1-0 Toronto here in the first.
Now how important is that tag on Bautista, who could have been out with a great tag. But as baseball works out, runner moves into scoring position, and a great pitch by Obi. Breaks the bat of Encarnacion, but he does enough to fight it off and drop it in front of George Springer. Baseball just isn't fair sometimes.
Not a bit. And even though this turf they've put in now new this year in Toronto is very thick and tall, you still see that ball bounce up and over George Springer. So Encarnacion aboard as Chris Colabello comes in with a 15-game hitting streak. Had 3 hits in last night's game. RBI number 33 for Encarnacion. Oh, and 2 the count.
A couple of good pitches back to back. It'd be good to see Obi not let that stolen base and broken bat single affect him and get out of this inning with just 1 run being scored.
It also shows you what can happen with the 2-out walk. And now 1-2 the count. Of course, there's got to be a lot of tendency when you're not overpowering, you're on the hill, and you're facing guys like Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. Josh Donaldson in this lineup. On the hands, Colabello fouls it back, hitting a cool .366 on the year. Just in his 30th game now with Toronto. Obi trying to get through this first inning. And now the count evens at 2-2. Colabello came up originally with Minnesota in 2013. Hit just .194, but showed some promise with the long ball. Hit 7 in 55 games. Hit .229 last year, but has blossomed as a hitter this year. Call it just the maturation process or changing scenery. Something has worked. There's a hitter really covering the corners, anything deemed close. And got him. So Obi gets through the first inning, but the Blue Jays put a run on the board. 1-0 Toronto after 1.
Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Double Jack today, only at Jack in the Box.
To the second inning we go. 1-0 Toronto. For the Astros, it'll be Colby Rasmus, Luis Valbuena, and Jason Castro. Base hit by Jose Altuve in the first inning. Colby Rasmus, former Toronto Blue Jay, and a rumbling amongst the fans here in Toronto. Shift on for Colby as he takes away. Drew Hutchison, at the age of 24 this year, became the youngest Blue Jay opening day starter in franchise history. Beat the Yankees back on April 6th. It's a ball and a strike on Colby. Maybe.
Ooh.
And the 1-1 misses low. Mentioned that Drew Hutchison has had Tommy John surgery. Back in 2012, the Blue Jays had quite a series of injuries to their pitching staff. They saw Brandon Morrow, Kyle Drabeck, and then Drew Hutchison in 1 week all go down with arm injuries. In fact, right in the first inning, all three had to come off the field, and Hutchison eventually had that Tommy John surgery.
Still have the same pitching coach and trainers?
Yeah, that really makes you think, doesn't it? And the walk is drawn by Colby Rasmus.
You can look at Drew Hutchinson's numbers by year. It's a good sign when you're seeing the walk rate go down and the strikeout rate go up. Really only a 3-pitch pitcher. He doesn't throw that changeup all that often, but he's got a good fastball. Looks like it has a little bit of a run sink action to it. Probably like to see him get on top of that slider a little bit more often and create some depth.
He can go legit mid-90s when on his game. Fastball at the knees at 91. In fact, in Houston, in his start in May against the Astros, he was hitting that 94 mark, 93, 94 fairly steadily. The Astros continue to lead the American League in stolen bases as they picked up 1 in last night's game. The Astros are the leaders in home runs at 76. Jason Castro hit that 76th on the year in the 9th inning last night. Ground ball right to first base. Colabello gets the out at second, and the return, the double play. 3-6-3 to get the double play. And so that leadoff walk erased here on the first double play of the afternoon.
Holding the runner on, first baseman gets the ball pretty quick, and it's a good thing he did. You saw a great slide by Colby Rasmus to take out Reyes, but he did a fantastic job making the exchange, getting the throw back to first.
Two outs, bases empty for Jason Castro. That home run for Jason last night came out to right center field. And yet the Blue Jays outfield shading just a bit toward left field. Quickly 0-2 the count. Off speed from Hutchison. 12th start of the year for Hutchison. And he's got some great run support from his Blue Jays teammates. Almost 9 runs a game. That's first in Major League Baseball. So he's got nothing to complain about with the support he's gotten.
Hence the record at 4-1 with a 5.12 ERA.
Now he'd be that lone guy or one of the few going in to arbitration saying it's not about the ERA, it's about wins for your team, right?
Can you go to the arbitration table and just say I'm a good luck charm?
You know,
I can get these guys to play better.
It might make more sense than the other argument, huh? My teammates love me. They support me well. Second strikeout for Hutchison. Just 3 faced in the second inning. It's 1-0 Toronto.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
It would appear the shuttle program is back in business.
Geez, Canada's trying to get in on the race.
One 0 Toronto. Danny Valencia, the left fielder, leads it off here in the second inning, followed by Diano Navarro and Kevin Pillar. Danny Valencia hitting .320 on the year. Just one dinger. Now Obi has been making a genuine effort to work inside on the right-hand hitters.
I like it. Plant that seed on that inside corner. Might open up that outer third for him. Saw him get a swing and miss on Colabello on that changeup.
There is the change. Hit in the air. Rasmus is back and won't get there. One hop up against the wall, leadoff double as Danny Valencia glides into second base.
The last thing you want to become is predictable, because it looked like Danny Valencia was sitting on that pitch.
Did Colby get fooled at all on this ball?
Well, the sound of it told me that that ball was hit pretty well, but I know sometimes when you're playing the outfield and the ball is hit directly at you a little bit, it's tough to judge how hard that ball's hit. Because at first he took off like he looked like he had a beat on it.
That's what I thought. That's why I was wondering. For Danny Valencia, double number 9. And just his 20th game on the year, so he's been a doubles machine. Diano Navarro stands in. Take another peek at Colby in center field.
Yeah, here's our view. You see him. First step was almost immediately to his right instead of back. By the time he made the adjustment, the ball was over his head.
Navarro hitting .265. In that backup role behind Russell Martin. And you're not going to get a lot of playing time when you're playing behind Martin.
Yeah, he's a bit of a workaholic behind home plate.
And he really turned himself into one of the game's truly outstanding defensive catchers. Ground ball up the middle. Knocked down at short by VR. He'll get the out, or will he? Safe as Marwin Gonzalez can't find the bag.
Whoa.
And I'm not sure, did Navarro ever step on the bag himself?
That's what I was wondering, too. Good call. I would have tagged him just to make sure. How about the play from VR? Ranging well up the middle. Does a good job of keeping the ball near him so he can make the throw, but not entirely sure what Marwin Gonzalez was aiming for over there. Hasn't moved in 120 years. The base, that is.
Yeah, I hadn't been invited to that 120th birthday for Marwin, if that was the case the other way. But so how's this one ruled? It's got to be an E3, right?
No, it's an E4.
Of course, that's a reference to last night's game. Altuve got charged with an error on a throw that he also got an assist on. Can't happen. The pitch was apparently swung on and missed.
Yep.
And got away from Jason Castro.
More extra nastiness from Oberholzer, but seems to be getting some tough breaks out there. I thought it was pretty heads up by VR just to knock the ball down, but still to have the sense to pick the ball up, knowing that DeHonor was running to first base and had a chance to get him.
By the way, did you notice Danny Valencia on that ground ball to his left? He
hesitating.
Just froze and didn't know which way to go.
You know what that tells me is that he didn't turn around and take a peek and see where the defense was playing. Because if he'd have known where VR was, he would have taken off in an instant. Not only where the position was, but at the same time, like you said, the ball being on the left shoulder, go.
Yeah, and you had one of those plays where VR got a big out at third base against the Giants back home. Ball and a strike. Still nobody out here in the second inning.
Good pitch.
Take a peek at what we're talking about with the base runner Valencia.
Yeah, if you're the base runner, you can make that ball be on your left-hand side, go.
Especially that far up the middle. The scoreboard says the Astros have committed an error. Well, yeah. We just don't know anything more. Base hit. That'll drive in the Blue Jays' second run. Into second base, Navarro. Kevin Pillar, the RBI single. 2-0 Blue Jays.
Just a solid bullet up the middle. Drive in that base runner. You know, going back to that play by VR and why Marwin may have not been on first base.
Yeah.
Is the runner is on second base, a ground ball up the middle. I'm sure that maybe Marwin Gonzalez was anticipating running to the middle of the diamond to become a cutoff man for Colby Rasmus in center.
Yep.
But instead saw that VR knocked that ball down and had to immediately change direction and get back to first base and couldn't find it.
Had turned off the first base radar momentarily. A bunt attempt by the 9-hitter Ryan Goins is fouled. Yeah, that's the tough thing when you've got a guy kind of out of position, and Marwin is that guy that can play all over the place, probably anywhere but center field and catcher. And of course, well, he might be that 14th pitcher on the team. Who knows?
And I played a similar role as Marwin did, playing about 6 different positions.
Again, Goins shows bunt.
And first base for me was one of the hardest.
Is that right?
There were a lot of things going on there. There was a lot of coverages, a lot of cutoffs, but you always had to anticipate being on that bag at first base, being a good receiver, giving those guys a good target.
You know what? I'll make a comment. As a second baseman or shortstop, you actually see the bag as you're approaching it.
Yeah.
At first base, it's behind you a lot of the time. Well, some of the time, I guess.
Well, but if you're playing over there on a regular basis, you know exactly where that thing is and how many steps it takes you to get there, how to get in position. You can feel it with your feet when you get on the base. But if you're not doing it all the time, it's real tough.
There it is. Third base side. Valbuena with the play. And the sacrifice moves the runners up to second and third. One out now in the top of the order for the Blue Jays.
Pretty good bunt. Be interesting to see how some of the baseballs react on this thick AstroTurf here. Deadens it nicely.
Now the Blue Jays trying to add to this 2-0 lead in the second inning. For Ryan Goins, that's the third sacrifice he's laid down this year. And the Blue Jays, surprisingly, have laid down 21, make that 15 sacrifice bunts. Think of the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't think of a team that's trying to bunt a lot. Infield draws almost all the way in,
especially in this ballpark.
It's 0-2 now on Jose Reyes. Switch hitter. "32 years of age now. Actually still 31, heading toward 32 later this year. Count stays at 0-2. Well, he's had some big years. Won a batting title back in 2011 while with the Mets. Led the National League in stolen bases 3 different times. Well, he's got some triples numbers that are off the charts. Led the National League in hits in 2008 with 204, well shy of what Altuve did. But there's a knock line shot into left field that'll produce 1 run as Tucker gets it back in. 3-0 Toronto and 1 out, runners at the corners. RBI number 15 for Reyes.
It's a pretty good adjustment by Reyes. Swung at a changeup earlier in the AB, missed it by quite a bit on that down part of the strike zone, but does a good job of letting this ball travel and stroking that thing in the left.
And now it gets really dangerous. Josh Donaldson comes to the plate. Grounded out to third base. A bit disputed in the first inning as Donaldson thought the ball hit his foot. Blue Jays trying to open this thing up early. Obi misses away. Donaldson hitting .309. And by the way, at first base, Jose Reyes 4 for 4 in the stolen base category. Waiting on deck is Jose Bautista. Blue Jays lead the major leagues in runs scored. It is a tough unit to come in and face, especially if you're left-handed. Really tough assignment for Brett Oberholzer in just his 3rd start of the season. And you keep in mind that Obi had just over 8 innings pitched on the year. Fastball up and in, 2-0 the count. Outfield swings around to the left side a bit. The infield has that full-blown shift on with Altuve left of second base. And again, Obi has his focus on Jose Reyes.
I think it might be an interesting time for Jose to run. I know it's a 2-0 count. You almost guarantee a fastball, but it's going to be, even if it's not, it's going to be a strike, or hopefully be a strike for Oberholzer. But with him moving, you take the double play out of the situation.
Stolen base is nothing but a plus for the Blue Jays here when you consider you can't issue the free pass to Donaldson when you're facing Bautista coming up next.
This is going to be a large swing.
3-0 the count. Green light would seem likely. And again, .450 the batting average against lefties this year for Donaldson. So he's just simply torn them up. .850 slugging against left-handers. And the strike is called.
Might have been a little generous up and away.
He's got an OPS against left-handers of 1.327. .50 pitches already for Brett Oberholzer. Fly ball right field. Springer is back and now comes into the ball. Tagging from third and coming as the throw is late. And scoring is Kevin Pillar, making it 4-0. Sac fly Josh Donaldson. And the Blue Jays starting to open it up here. It's just the second inning. RBI number 40 for Donaldson.
Not pretty, or what Donaldson probably wanted to do with that pitch, but still an effective out.
So they've had a sacrifice bunt and a sac fly. And now Jose Bautista at the plate. Bautista drew a walk, stole a base, and then scored in the first inning. Has a big swing and fouls it back. Bautista's home run last night hit off the facing above the second tank down the left field line. He can hit some bombs. It's a ball and a strike. Now, I don't know if Obi is yet to the place where he can go 100 pitches. But now in the mid-50s in terms of pitches thrown, it wouldn't figure that his day is going to last real long.
Threw 82 in his last outing. The most he threw on the season was 85 down in Memphis.
Runner goes. Ground ball right side, right through the shift.
Where's Reyes going?
Reyes took off as if he was going to head to left field and then came back to the bag. I don't know what happened there. But Jose Bautista just puts one on the ground through the right side.
Well, if you're a Toronto Blue Jay fan, you almost have to be concerned if he's okay. I'm not sure if he was stumbling around out there, missed second base, or was trying to make a turn, and he was off with the pitch. Oh, he was going into a slide.
He was halfway into the dive, and watch him start to lean.
Yeah, he leans forward and then had to pull up.
Imagine how that would have gone on a gapper.
It was a little bit of a Three Stooges act right there. Altuve trying to ask him about his technique.
How do you do that? Meanwhile, Jason Castro and Brett Strom trying to get things straightened out on the hill. Brett Oberholzer having a tough time trying to get through the second inning. 4-0 Toronto. They put 3 runs on the board here in this frame. Runners at first and second. And now it's Edwin Encarnacion. Had an RBI single in the first. Again, that shift on. Altuve cuts into the bag. He wanted that throw immediately, and you could see a little bit of anger on the part of Altuve.
Well, you know why? Because he was there. I mean, Jose Reyes has a big lead out there at second base, and if he throws it when before Altuve gets to the bag, they may have him. But with Altuve standing on the base, Reyes can feel him.
Right there, he said, come on, throw it when I get there. Something about the game of baseball. You work on the pickoffs over and over during the spring, and then you get into the season, and there's a certain group of pitchers who just don't want to do it. I'm sure you played with those guys.
Yeah, they're called pitchers.
In good part, that is the truth. Yeah, well labeled. Strike inside edge.
No, but it's the truth. There's a reason why you want to have that snap throw before the fielder gets to the bag. You want to surprise these guys. You got to catch them off guard. Thought that was actually a pretty heads up and veteran move by Altuve.
Yep. It is about timing.
But sometimes the pitchers are so focused on everything but those guys on base.
This one gets away from Castro, but up that third base line, no chance to move the runner up. Four runs, 5 hits for Toronto, no runs on 1 hit, and an error for the Astros. Eighth hitter of the inning. And now a 3-1 count. Jose Bautista down at first base is really watching Reyes to see if he takes off. And it's a huge lead down at first for Bautista. There would be no sense on a double steal attempt of trying to throw back that side. And the walk to Encarnacion. So that'll bring up the 9th hitter of the inning. Chris Colabello will step in, trying to extend his 15-game hitting streak. And the base is juiced.
Things are getting sketchy out there for Obi.
Yeah, and this is one big swing away from this game getting away from the Astros early.
Really can't relax on any of these guys in this Blue Jays lineup. You just walked a guy hitting 222 to face a guy hitting 363.
And the Astros now start to get some action going in their pen down the right field side. Is that Jake Buchanan once again?
Everyday Jake. That's not the guy you want to be getting up on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
He's usually the long man. Nothing against Jake. I'm just saying his role.
Long man is the guy you want to keep well rested. Roberto Hernandez went last night. Ball hit in the air left field. Tucker's got a beat on it, and that'll do it. So 9 hitters come to the plate, and 3 score. Blue Jays walk away leading 4-0 after 2.
Friday, June 12th, as they take on the Mariners. 10,000 fans will receive a gym bag presented by Houston Methodist. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. A.J. Hinch talked with media yesterday telling us that he's going to start giving some guys some days off here on this particular road trip. Turf having a little bit to do with it, but guys like Chris Carter, who has the day off today, he hasn't had a day off since April 20th, of course, playing first base a lot more often this year as opposed to last year. And that 12-game hitting streak, guys, ended yesterday. He said that today would be a good day for him to just get off his feet and think about it. Also, Springer will probably have a day off tomorrow, so look for that.
Makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Julia. We go to the third inning. First pitch from Hutchison, a strike on Marwin Gonzalez. And the best we can tell is that Marwin is the guy that got charged with that error that the Astros have picked up on the day. 1-1 the count. The Astros have but one hit. Jose Altuve lined one into left field with one out in the first inning. Off the end of the bat, but that'll find the hole into left field. Marwin has a knock. So the leading man aboard for Jonathan Villar. And that snaps an 0 for 11 for Marwin.
See if this can't start a little rally of their own for the Houston Astros.
Jonathan Villar in that 9 spot in the order. The Astros didn't get on the board at all last night until the 9th inning. Jason Castro got it going with the home run to right center. They added one more, and the game ended with a man at third base. But that 6-2 final tells you it was pretty much all Blue Jays on the evening.
Aaron Sanchez was lights out yesterday for the Blue Jays, throwing probably close to 90% fastballs.
Yeah, he was really good. There's another base hit. Lining it to left field, Jonathan Villar. Marwin Gonzalez stops at second base. Back-to-back hits to left. And that looked a lot like the left-handed stroke of Jonathan Villar when he first joined the Astros.
Yeah, totally different swing, left-handed for Jonathan than right-handed. A little more power on that right side. But if he can continue to do this, that side angle you just saw was great, because you see how far he let that ball travel and get deep on him, allowing him to drive it to left field. It's a great swing.
3 Houston hits now. George Springer will stand in. 0 for 1 on the day. George flying to right field in the first. Shows bunt and takes a strike.
I don't think there was any intent behind that. Just take a pitch, but he decided to take it with a fake bunt.
By the way, I was going to ask you about the AstroTurf here, and I don't know if you've walked on it, but do you think this AstroTurf takes anything out on a player? Ground ball to short, could be 2. Reyes on to Goins, and they'll get the double play on to Colabello. That's the second the Astros have hit into on the afternoon, and just like that, 2 outs as Mar goes down at third.
I think it's a little too early to speculate on what it's going to do to guys' bodies, but seeing some good sink from Hutchinson. But I think that any kind of artificial surf is going to have an effect on your body over the course of time. You'd have to ask these guys how many days in a row before they actually start feeling the effects. Can a guy go through a homestand for the Blue Jays and not feel it?
Jose Altuve trying to pick up a run here.
All I know is it's a lot better than the stuff we played on.
Yeah. And we were mentioning last night they used to mix in a little concrete with the fibers, kind of firm it up a bit. Altuve 1 for 1, solid base hit in the first inning, hitting .298. He'd like to get back on the tri-state. That half swing deemed to be a good check there by Jose. 2-0 the count. Preston Tucker waits on deck. It's a lineup at the moment for the Astros that is clearly not hot. And sometimes just one given moment turns it around for a club. Two balls and 1 strike, third inning, 4-0 Toronto. Mentioned that last year, right at this mark in terms of games played, Altuve was 10 hits in front of where he is this year. So that has really turned around now on Jose. Broken bat looper, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So he's 2 for 2 today. That drives in the first Astros run of the day. 4-1 Toronto on top, and you take every one of those you can get.
And he's actually been extremely good with runners in scoring position this year too. We've seen him pitched around, not allowing him to be able to drive in these runs, but the runner at third, you got the right guy at the plate. Bat died at hero.
27 RBIs for Jose. And now speed aboard at first base. Preston Tucker at the plate. Drew Hutchison obviously aware of that speed and the ability to steal bags of Jose. Again, the Astros lead the American League in stolen bases, just one in front of the Tigers. They have become a really good base running club. Blue Jays pitch out. By the way, did you notice some people have been trying to blame the woes of the Tigers recently on Brad Ausmus, and Dave Dombrowski, the general manager, stepped out yesterday and said absolutely not on Brad's shoulders. So I thought that was really good of Dombrowski.
If you're a manager, you're just in the crosshairs constantly.
There goes Altuve way early, and he's thrown out. So caught stealing. 1-6 on the play. Jose tried to get the early jump. Got it a little bit too early. 4-1. Blue Jays lead it.
Let's take a look inside the box score, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Percentage of runs via the home run, highest all time, 2010 Toronto Blue Jays, 40% basically. You see the Astros are on pace for, 53% at the back end. Good grief, I need to read. But the Astros doing a great job at 476% of runs scored by home run.
Yeah, that 2010 Blue Jays club led the major leagues by a wide margins. I want to say 257 home runs. I can't remember the figure.
Yeesh.
But it was pretty stout. 4-1 Toronto. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Danny Valencia, who doubled to start the second inning, Valencia hitting .329. Shift on as this one is hit high in the air. Medium depth center field. Colby Rasmus just jogs under and makes the catch. One up, one down here in the third inning, and Brett Oberholzer would love a few short, brief innings. It brings up switch hitting Deoner Navarro.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic if Obi could hold these guys right here at 4 runs. Maybe get into that 5th, 6th inning. Try and back up that bullpen and give your offense a chance to get back in it.
Navarro has done quite well against the Astros on his career. In 27 previous games, hitting .302 with 4 bombs and 13 ribbies. He's even stolen a base against the Astros.
Wow.
Don't know exactly what went on there, as the count is 2-0. And again, that shift on. Ground ball foul outside the bag at third. And do we start the little workout for the guys down the left field side today?
Oh, no, I'm impressed that Lenny's back out there.
Made it back after.
He was getting his workout in last night.
Had more of a workout than a Jane Fonda video would get you.
Whoa. Julia's asking, who's Jane Fonda?
She's got a few of those videos.
The fact you said video I think indicates she may not know who that is.
Tester, VHS, what does it mean? 3-2 the count.
Well, we were down there talking to the video staff for the Houston Astros.
Videographers?
Yes, videographers, I guess, who are capturing all the info and images from games on a daily basis.
Here's a little pop-up shallow in right field. This is going to be a tough play. Altuve on the sprint. Can't get there. And it'll be a single for Navarro. Yep. The shift sets up a lot of intriguing situations. This little pop fly just left nobody near.
It was just a long way for VR to, I mean, not VR, but Altuve to run. You see him playing on the shortstop side of second base, and that's a long way to go, and not a natural thing for a first baseman to be running that far backwards trying to catch a pop-up. No, but getting back to the videographers who we were talking to and seeing the equipment they travel with and the ability they have to pull up information at a click of a mouse. I was trying to explain to them that I actually had to rewind VHS tapes to watch some of my at-bats and figure out what guys were trying to do to me.
Guys, I know what VHS is. I still own a VHS player.
We just saw Julia on her computer typing in, Googling VHS, and so now she's coming back with this.
Well, you know what?
No, even in my early television days, we were working with beta tapes.
Wow, nice. I thought you had a couple VHS in your fanny pack.
Do you know that in my days of playing plumber, we didn't have tapes at all? Little tapper on the ground. And Obi just does beat the runner, Kevin Pillar, going down the line. That's the second out, moving safely into second base, Deanna Navarro. And it brings up the 9-hitter, Ryan Goins. And now let's all play Can You Top This?
Pretty good play. Good athleticism by Obi to get over there and cover. That was a tough play for Marwin. But you guys, back in the day, probably had a sketch artist.
Yeah.
Going through your at-bats.
Courtroom renderings of our at-bats. Yeah.
Real quick, they had to cartoon it out, the each AB.
Yeah. Sometimes it looked like Felix the cat was taking a swing, but it really didn't matter.
I can't believe y'all didn't think I knew what a VHS tape was.
Think.
You're half hour.
See if you can erase your searches on your computer there today.
The evidence is there.
Pitch has popped up. It's the shortstop VR calling. He'll put it away. That'll do it for the Blue Jays in the third inning. No runs, a hit, and they leave a man. But the Jays on top, 4-1.
Family Night, presented by Houston Methodist, is back in 2015. Christian rock band Mercy Me returns to the stage at Minute Maid Park for a post-game concert on Saturday, June 13th, after the Astros take on the Mariners. For more information, visit astros.com/faith. Guys.
Thank you, Julia. Preston Tucker leads it off, followed by Evan Gattis and Colby Rasmus here in the fourth. The Astros got on the board in the third inning. RBI base hit by Jose Altuve, blowing up his bat. But a little dunker into center field as Jose tries to get it hot. So they're down 3 now as they start the fourth inning. Preston Tucker grounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning. 0 for his last 10. At batting average at .273. There's that 93-mile-an-hour fastball as Hutchison settles in. Working with his catcher, Deoner Navarro. Well spotted down and away. It's 1-2. The Astros at 34-22. That record ties the franchise best for 56 games. 1999, 98, 1980, all of those clubs had that same start. And you might take note that all of those teams made it into postseason play, so the Astros would love to have that trend continue. The Astros need a win today to keep pace with the best ever for the franchise. Tucker stays alive. It's 1-2. Take a peek at the American League West now. Texas Rangers in second place. How about that?
Offense has been going nuts. Pitching staff has been holding the opposing teams down. It's a good trend for them.
Apparently the presence of Prince Fielder and his numbers have helped out a little bit.
Well, a healthy Prince Fielder. Josh Hamilton back in the mix. Joey Gallo gets called up.
Yeah.
Been a lightning rod in that Rangers lineup. There's a Chichi Gonzalez. Been pitching quite well.
And now the count fills 3-2.
Really don't hear much about the Texas Rangers either. They just keep grinding along.
They might be, along with the Minnesota Twins, of course the Houston Astros, a lot of people would say, the surprise teams of this season. But I don't think the Astros are as big a surprise as the Rangers right now, personally. The Astros with a 4.5 game lead over Texas. Angels 5.5 back.
That's with Yu Darvish on the DL.
Yep. Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it? The Yankees lead the East by 0.5 game. That's over Tampa Bay. These Toronto Blue Jays 4.5 back. That's tied with Baltimore. The Boston Red Sox have had a rather miserable start, and yet they're just 5.5 back. Pitch hit high in the air, right field. Bautista going back, shading his eyes from the sun, and makes the catch. So it took a while, but there's the first out in the fourth inning. Who's hot, who's not, Blummer?
There he is, Chichi Gonzalez. First two career starts. He has yet to allow a run. Patrick Venditte, ambidextrous pitcher. That's something you don't see too often. That was funny when he came in that game. It said switch-handed pitcher. Causing some issues. Jock Peterson, the rookie, 17 bombs, and Kyle Kendrick, welcome to Colorado.
There's 95 on that heater. So almost as if Hutchison heard us talking about his fastball back in Houston. Starting to light up the radar gun. Evan Gattis struck out in the first. 0 for his last 6, and it's again just kind of part of the composite for the Astros lineup right now. A number of hitters who are not hot. Altuve 2 hits on the day. Be great to see him get hot and drag some other guys with him. By the way, if you're wondering about Altuve, that batting average now at .301 for Jose. Slider drilled into left field. That's a good looking at bat for Evan Gattis. One out single brings up Colby Rasmus.
This is a smash. Unorthodox. Just clubs at it. I don't understand why there's so much hate behind the swing from Evan Gattis, but he can kill some baseballs.
Yeah, that angry hack does work. I have to say I'm a big fan of his approach, especially with men on base in scoring position. He just looks like he wants it on his shoulders. Colby Rasmus drew a walk in his first plate appearance. Fans here in Toronto not showing a whole lot of love for Colby Rasmus. Hutchison brings the 1-0. That good fastball is getting on the hitters. In foul territory, it's Donaldson. He'll make the catch. 2 down in the 4th inning. It brings up Luis Valbuena.
Here's a good look at that high sun. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. Roof open.
You want to call it?
No.
I got it. You take it.
Me got it. You take it.
On that fly ball to right field, you saw Bautista shade his eyes with the glove, but then he turned, got a different angle so he could look in another direction. Pretty veteran-like move. Valbuena grounded into a 3-6-3 double play in the 2nd. The Astros have grounded into 2 twin killings on the afternoon. Another shift on. It's almost a constant now in the major leagues. And you wonder, will hitters ever adjust and start trying to hit the ball through the other side? We're into about 3-4 years now of pretty steady shifts going on. And no sign of a whole lot of guys trying to make that move. There's a line shot and it finds the third baseman Donaldson. That's hitting in tough luck for Valbuena, and it does it for the Astros. They leave a man on the hit. It's 4-1 Blue Jays.
Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Yeah, we got some of the traveling party with us.
It's good to see.
Wife of Paul Bykowski. Enjoying a beautiful day here in Toronto. 4-1 the Blue Jays on top. Brett Oberholzer trying to extend his day into some deep innings. He works it to the top of the order of the Jays. Jose Reyes, Josh Donaldson, and Jose Bautista. Falls behind 2-0. Reyes has a single and 2 at-bats. That drove in a run, his 15th ribby on the year. And now 3-0 the count. And we've talked about the fact the Blue Jays got off to a slow start this year. A number of injuries. All teams have them. Leadoff walk on 4 pitches. Speed aboard for Josh Donaldson. But the Jays are starting to get a bit healthy now, and they could be a formidable club in that kind of a grab bag East, I would think, in the American League.
Yeah, those guys are still beating up on each other in that AL East, and if these guys can get healthy and get the pitching that we've seen here in the last couple days, because even a couple weeks ago, this is a completely different ball club than the Astros faced at Minute Maid Park.
Yep. Josh Donaldson is going to be a big part of things if the Blue Jays do make noise this year. Had a sac fly in the 2nd inning, and now Obi falls behind.
5 balls in a row. A little concern from Castro out there.
Of course, we know the Blue Jays lead the major leagues in runs scored. You're going to need some pitching. Over their first 40 starts this year, Toronto's starting pitching had an ERA of 5.29. Over the last 16, it's at 3.39. So they've cut a couple of runs off as now Brent Strom comes out to the mound. Jake Buchanan once again starts to heat it up in the Astros pen. That's in right field. The Jays in left field. Been out there for a lot of these meetings. Sometimes there's something concrete that is stated. Other times it's, well, you're going to have to find something, or you're just not going to hang around much longer.
It's got to be the hardest part about being a pitching coach, as well as a catcher too, to try and find out that one question or that one remark that's going to get these guys on the mound who aren't having the best day, to try and refocus, regroup, figure something out, make the adjustment. See the pitches by inning. That 3rd inning was a pretty good inning for Obi.
Yeah, those first 2 are killers.
But we're headed down a similar path here in the bottom of the 4th.
Had a dear friend as a pitching coach, Vern Rule, some years ago with the Astros when Randy Johnson was a part of the team. And I used to just chuckle inside when Vern had to go out and try to impart something to Randy Johnson. What are you going to say?
Well, first of all, he brought a step ladder out there.
Yeah, no, that's number 1.
And then he said, I'm out here for appearances, just to say that I'm doing my job. Go do what you need to do.
And Randy has already said, now get out of here. I'll take care of business. A ball and a strike on Donaldson. Of course, some of the great names the Astros have had as pitchers. There goes Reyes. The pitch is fouled, so a little hit and run going on. Reyes does not wind up in left field on this attempt.
It was actually a pretty good jump by Reyes, but I think Donaldson's backswing got a piece of Castro. As a catcher coming up out of the crouch to try and make that throw to second base. Big swing from a guy like Donaldson. See him catch him on the back of the left arm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
He's been beat up here in the last couple weeks, too.
Apparently the end of the barrel might have caught that left elbow of Jason.
Well, it's still attached. He's going to play.
That's kind of the credo behind the plate. I was talking the other day with Jason about all the dings that you get. And a lot of the time, people don't even take notice. Pitches in the dirt that come up and hit the bone on the wrist, and just one thing after another. Timeout called at the plate. 1-2 the count.
Saw Castro yesterday, and first thing I asked him, I go, do they have to put you under to surgically remove that baseball from your knee after that hit by pitch?
Yeah.
That was not a good one. He actually said that the seams had just started to go away.
It sounds like kind of a joke, but it's true.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
You get hit hard enough sometimes, those seams are left as a reminder.
Still have our UK baseball fan on with us today?
Yes. That would be Billy Wilson.
Welcome, Billy.
Tweeted in.
Yeah. That's great. Love having you with us.
Actually, somebody tweeted me a picture of their videotape player still in their house. It's
VHS?
Pretty impressive stuff there, Skip.
Did it have an automatic rewind?
I am not sure.
You remember when
I'll have to ask for the manual.
I don't know if you actually. I mean, of course you would have had to do this. You had to take them back to the store, take it back to Blockbuster, and make sure you rewound it before you took it back. Don't be one of those slackers that went the other way. Yeah. Heavy fine would be given if you didn't. I wonder if Julia even knows what a Blockbuster video store was.
My wife worked at one in high school, and trying to explain it to our 4 daughters one day was one of the best conversations I've ever heard in parenthood.
Those Reyes as the pitches popped up, and this is going to be tough. Although Springer rather gets there to make the play, and that's a tough play dealing with that sun in the long run. Out number 1 here in the inning. Reyes back to first base for Jose Bautista. Julia, defend yourself.
Well, first, let me tell everyone that if they're looking for games on certain days of the week with all the giveaways, your favorite rivalries, or maybe a little of each, the Astros 14-game flex plan puts you in charge. You get to pick the games and seat locations that work best for you. Purchase your 14-game flex plan today by visiting Astros.com/tickets or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS. I went to Blockbuster.
That was
I had a Blockbuster card, and I listened to cassette tapes, and I did it all. I'm not that young, guys.
Wow, you're retro.
Retro. Wait a minute.
The good old days.
I'm not buying a word of it.
She probably wasn't even around when your CD Walkman would skip.
I would love to put an 8-track in her hands and see if she could deal with that bad boy.
Those were awesome. I thought it was a big day when my dad finally got the tape deck in his car and he gave me the old 8-track out of his car. That was legit.
And we didn't get to see Julia mouth 8-track. 8-track?
Yeah,
Runner goes again, and another foul ball down that left side. Wow. Jose Bautista has walked, stolen a base, and scored. He also singled, just grounding one through the right side. So 1 for 1 on the day.
I love how he's annoyed going back to first base after making a couple sprints. Like this has never happened in baseball.
It's like spring training, Jose.
Guys making me run.
Return to the point of origin.
Do over.
Right on the hands, Bautista grounds it foul.
Great pitch.
Knowing there was a need to keep that young man loose down the left field side.
This is that cutter fastball and that inner. It just keeps running at Jose. That's all he can do is fight it off. You see him shake that top hand.
Didn't even look like he had the top hand on the bat when he made contact, but it still hurt. Now, Obi's worked hard to get in on the right-hand hitters today. There's no question. But it's still 4-1 Blue Jays on top. We're in the 4th inning.
And that pitch count is rising rapidly, 85 now.
Yeah, and with it, the game has not been sailing along.
Hence the VHS talk.
Yeah. Where do we go next?
Well, Julia brought up the tape decks.
Did you hear the Titanic went down?
Whoa. For real?
Oh, well, you know, it's true. It's true. We'll talk about it. We can talk about things like the CN Tower, which is right outside our viewing audience's window. There goes Reyes. Pickoff attempt, and they do not get him. This took a little bit of time to get out of the hands of Marwin Gonzalez. So it's a stolen base for Reyes. He's at second with one out.
As we hold and see if the replay crew wants to take a view at it in the Astros dugout. Pretty good catch. That's just a speedy Reyes, but Hinch is going to come out and argue it, and we'll see if this is the angle that made him come out and do that.
Yeah, I think
he looked safe. That hand looked like it got in there.
Yep.
And again, it's got to be, something that can be overturned. And me, I don't see anything that could really overturn that, because I saw it the same way you did.
No chance. 5th stolen base on the year.
But in case this game was speeding along at too rapid a pace, we are going to go to the booth in New York.
Yeah. Hopefully this takes less than 4 minutes and 25 seconds, which I think we had yesterday. Yeah, 4:25.
We are going to look at it. It's a pretty good snap tag by Jose Altuve.
Julia, what do you got?
Well, while we're waiting with Oberholzer on the mound, you guys are talking about him getting in on righties. One of the things he wanted to do in spring training really was work on that cutter. He's bringing it back. It's not a new pitch to him. Just wanted to bring it back. That way he could get in on the righties, in and up. He thinks that pitchers are kind of getting away from that, so he was trying to bring that back. That's one of the things he's been working on.
Well, you have to hand it to Obi. He's worked hard inside. Can't say that it's felt like one of those games where a guy's getting racked around and he just doesn't have an answer for what the hitters are doing. But the Blue Jays kind of methodically moving along, lead it 4-1.
Well, I think the throwing that cutter on the inside kind of creates a little extra movement going to the inside. Sometimes that four-seam fastball isn't enough at 88 miles an hour to really jam a right-handed hitter. So if you get that last-minute late little cut, stay off the barrel, get closer to the label.
Well, I think we pretty much knew that was coming. It's a stolen base for Reyes. He's 5 for 5 on the year. 1 minute 45 seconds on that review, considerably better than the one we had yesterday. Apparently the lines slow down between Toronto and New York occasionally.
That's that international thing. They really should speed it up, though, because the rates, on the international calls can be high.
Bautista gets the head out. Oh, and 2 the count. Well, is there any doubt that Jose can cover that inside corner? By all rights, the changeup after that swing should be good. But at this point, the Blue Jay hitters, as Reyes goes, know a lot about that changeup. It's another stolen base for Reyes as he nabs third. Number 6 for Jose. He's now 90 feet away with 1 out.
Seeing some vintage Jose Reyes on the base paths. He's always had that speed that could change a game on the base paths, getting into scoring position, and then getting 90 feet closer with the steal of third here rather easily.
So the infield draws in. 1-2. And strike 3 is called. That's a pretty good job when you can freeze Bautista on that off-speed delivery.
Well, it's probably the first time he's seen a breaking ball all day.
See, that front side came wide open, and now A.J. Hinch comes out to the mound. Right-hand hitting Edwin Encarnacion is coming up. The Astros have gone to the bullpen. Jake Buchanan, who is plenty loose at this point, will jog it in, with the Blue Jays leading it 4-1. We'll be right back. call to the bullpen. Jake Buchanan brings it on, and Jeff Blum has all the info.
No, I got the guys in the truck throwing up graphics, making it look easy.
Yeah.
5th game on the season. We haven't had a chance to see much of Jake, but we've seen him in the last couple days here in Toronto. Doing some pretty good work. That ERA around 1.42. Whip under 1. That's a good sign.
First pitch is fouled down the right side. Edwin Encarnacion has singled, driving in a run, and drawn a walk.
Jake only threw 2/3 of an inning last night. They were scoreless.
Spots it well. 0-2 the count. Yeah, big out to get, obviously, with a man at third base. Got to hold it here at 4-1. That strikeout of Bautista was huge, and they got him. Back-to-back strikeouts. Jake Buchanan comes on and gets Edwin Encarnacion. Blue Jays don't add anything here in the 4th inning. They lead it 4-1.
History is brought to you by M.D. Anderson. June 6th, 1976. After a torrential flood in Houston, 20 fans canoed to the Astrodome to get rain checks for their canceled game tickets. That is, in every sense of the word, 20 of probably the craziest fans that are willing to risk their life to go get rain checks on some tickets. But I also think it's a great opportunity for both of us, you living in Houston. I was a resident of Houston, but send out some well wishes and prayers and good dry thoughts for all the people that have been affected by those floods out there in Houston, as well as Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, we hope you're doing well and getting better. Though there were some very tough stories involved there.
And I read an article today, still some people searching for family members, so extremely tough time.
Yeah, really horrible stuff. Right here in Toronto, it's 4-1 Blue Jays lead over the Astros. Jason Castro takes a couple of strikes. It's 0-2. 7-8-9 coming up for Houston. Castro a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Marwin Gonzalez and Jonathan Villar. And down on strikes, 2nd time today, Jason Castro. That's 3 strikeouts for Drew Hutchison.
Tough AB for Castro. A couple of well-spotted fastballs down in the zone, and then a put-away slider down and in. Thanks for coming.
1 out for Marwin. Gonzalez had a base hit and scored the lone Astros run in the 3rd inning. Infield play straight up on Marwin Gonzalez. Well, he must be one of those rare hitters in the bigs now.
The trying to throw him off, play him straight up.
We've got nothing on this guy. Just play it straight up.
Surprised somebody in the analytics department out there in Saber space hasn't done like some analysis on past guys, trying to figure out where they would play a guy like Tony Gwynn or a Wade Boggs, Paul Molitor, some of these guys that could really put up some big numbers and shoot that baseball all over the field. Because the only reason I say Tony Gwynn is he wore out that 5.5 hole. Would they have actually moved the shortstop into that?
I wonder when it came to a guy like him or Wade Boggs, could they actually hit the ball where they wanted to?
Watching some of the video I've seen, I would believe so.
Now, you can hit it to the right or to the left a fair percentage of the time if you try to, right? But it looked like Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs could hit it to an individual hole on the field at will.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily cut the field in half like maybe you or I would. They could cut it into fifths and really narrow it down.
It was that 90 degrees out in front of me that I had a tough time with. I was good on the other, what is that, 270 around the other way? But well, I think you know what I mean.
I'm trying.
With that base hit in the third inning, Marwin snapped an 0 for 11. And there's that slider again. That's the one that got Castro 2 outs on strikeouts, 4 on the day for Hutchison.
It's a great location on that slider. Last couple, you mentioned the one at Castro. This one, good late break. Back legging these guys.
2 outs, bases empty. 9-hitter Jonathan Villar at the plate. A run on 5 hits, an error for the Astros. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Toronto. Marwin had a good looking at bat and a base hit in the third inning, lining one to left field. I said Marwin, meaning Jonathan. .94, that fastball looking alive this afternoon for Hutchison. The Astros 14-8 over their last 22 despite last night's loss. 31-17 over the last 48. Of course, that includes the 10-game winning streak. There's A.J. Hinch. He'll be at the All-Star game representing the American League as one of the coaches. And that's a huge congratulations to A.J. What a job he's done with this team. That fastball's right there. 3 punch outs in the 5th inning, a 1-2-3 frame. Jays on top 4-1.
Sunday, June 14th, presented by Cisco. Picnic in the Park features a picnic buffet in the Minute Maid Park outfield. Autograph session with the Astros players, family-friendly activities. To purchase tickets, visit astros.com/picnic, guys.
Thank you, Julia. To the bottom of the 5th inning we go. Jake Buchanan is on the hill. Second pitcher on the day for Houston. Came on and struck out Edwin Encarnacion with a man at third base to end the 4th inning. And now faces the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Chris Colabello still looking for that first hit on the day. 15-game hitting streak in tow. He's 0 for 2. And the count at 0 and 2. Hear about the skunk action in the major leagues last night?
Excuse me?
That's exactly what I expected to hear.
I thought we left that in Detroit.
They are claiming that a skunk tried to get in the ballpark here last night. Drive to right field. That's over Springer and bounces over the wall. Ground rule double for Colabello. There's the 16-game hitting streak. And this guy is swinging it.
He goes the other way extremely well. Watching him take batting practice, everything is up the middle the other way. Not an extremely quick bat, but able to get on top of this one and drive it the other way.
So the leadoff double brings up Danny Valencia. So I was saying, somebody reported that a skunk tried to get in the yard here last night. Kind of unusual, except for the fact that as the bunt goes down, Buchanan doesn't even look to third base, just gets the out at first. Colabello is safely into third on a sac bunt by Danny Valencia. Now the Blue Jays are really playing for some one-run scenarios here.
Wow, you ask and you shall receive. We've got video of it.
So apparently he not only tried to get in, but, well, that is outside the stadium, is it not?
What a stinker.
Yeah. It's trying to get that way. So anyway, Dodger Stadium was the site of 4 skunks getting in. They got stuck in the visitors' dugout at Dodger Stadium last night.
I'm still in shock that Jerry Blancas was able to get video of that and have it ready to go.
Jerry was the guy, huh?
Pretty impressive stuff.
I thought there might have been some World Cup soccer or something going on that Jerry would have been glued to.
Well, he's going to stay here for the Supercross.
Is that coming up here?
I'm not sure when it is, but I know that they have a pretty good Supercross up here in Canada. I know when I played in Montreal, they sure did.
Deoner Navarro at the plate. 1 for 2. Reached on an error and scored. He's also singled. That single just a little pop fly on the right side of the infield. But while he was batting right-handed, that meant nobody was playing on that side other than Marwin Gonzalez, and he and George Springer couldn't get there. Infield drawn in. And a 2-1 count. Jays picked up a run in the first inning, 3 more in the second. The Astros run coming in the third. So that's all I've got on the skunks.
Yeah, that's a great story, Ash.
Now, did you ever find yourself in the Dodger Stadium visiting dugout accompanied by skunks?
To be honest, the smells that would come out of that visiting clubhouse and dugout, I'm not sure I'd be able to tell there was a skunk.
There's a 1-out walk. A little commentary on Dodger Stadium from Jeff Blum.
Well, you had your comments on Shea Stadium last night.
1 point for each of us.
Yes.
We'll go into the tie-breaking round soon. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Kevin Pillar, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Driven in a run and scored a run. By the way, that Dodger Stadium visiting clubhouse is probably not one of the new modern style clubhouses going.
I think musky is a good word.
They try a safety squeeze. Already with the sacrifice bunt on the day, Ryan Goins bunts through this one.
Well, first and third situation, we've seen it a lot. Joe Madden was one of those managers when he was down in Tampa Bay that instituted that safety squeeze in these situations. First and third, you bunt it towards first base, make the first baseman field it, and once the runner at third saw the bunt going that way, took off for home. But yeah, for me, a lot more bunting going on for a team that scores that many runs.
I wonder if it has anything to do with this new turf, because you can bunt it fairly firmly and the ball just dies in this.
That's a good point.
Forest of a turf. It's really nice. Very nice to the touch. Line shot. They don't need the bunt anymore. Extra bases down the left field side. One run scores as Colabello crosses into third base. Eventually is Navarro. RBI double is picked up. And now it's 5-1 Blue Jays on top.
Oh, cement mixer right down the middle. Pilar held his hands back long enough to be able to barrel that up. See where Castro's set up, where Jake Buchanan wanted that pitch. Just didn't break.
Well, with the run in and runners now at second and third, one out, the Blue Jays are getting close to that point where they open this thing up a bit. Infield remains in for Goins. Ground ball right side, a big hop from Marwin. He'll freeze the runner at third and go to the bag for the second out. And so with 2 outs now, back to the top, Jose Reyes comes to the plate. This is a big one to get. If you get through Reyes and he reaches, then it's Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion, and on for these Blue Jays. And they are starting to swing the bats well. Toronto Blue Jays lead in runs scored. They lead in doubles. Third in home runs. Third in team batting average. And they are first in slugging and OPS in the American League. So it's a very good offensive team. And they're starting to get some pitching, as the Astros are finding out here in the first 2 games of the series. Pitch is popped up on the right side. Altuve called off by Springer. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it. Just 1 run for Toronto in the 5th inning. They lead it 5-1.
It was the Blue Jays' Drew Hutchinson pitching quite well, but that 5th inning was the inning that turned it around for him. Went to that slider for the first 2 punch outs and then threw the cheese right down the middle. But he's doing himself a good job today. You see that line? 5 innings pitched, only 5 hits given up, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
And he is bringing the gas. 94-95 in the last couple of innings. Top of the order, George Springer leads it off 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play in the 3rd inning. First offering at 94. The Astros with just 5 hits, and they have all been singles today. The only one producing a run hit by Jose Altuve.
Whoa.
And that slider wasn't close. Two balls and a strike for Springer. The batting average at .231 after a couple of knocks last night. Check swing, excuse me, foul ball evens the count.
That is annoying as a hitter. I think you do a good job finally lay off a pitch. Gets a piece of the bat. Call the strike.
Close.
Good take.
No cigars to be had there. It's full, 3-2. Drew Hutchison, by the way, first time through the order this year, has allowed a .200 batting average against. After that, .305. The Astros need to find that latter figure. Donaldson with the play, and out number 1. Brings up Altuve, 2 for 2 on the day. Altuve scorched one into left field in the 1st inning, then a little broken bat flare into center field as he filleted a base hit to drive in a run in the 3rd inning. See that batting average at .301 now. Many times we talked about it, but June 19th last year, the last time Jose went to bed, well, actually the first time that he went to bed. Let's try this again. After June 19th, he never went to bed with a batting average below .330. And you try that, or even just saying it. You got nothing for me, huh?
I couldn't do either. I couldn't hit .330, and I couldn't repeat what you just said. I'm still trying to drink it all in.
I'm going to go ahead and assure you that the hitting portion would have been much more difficult than what should have been an easy portion. It's 3-1 now on Jose. June 19th, he got to .331, I think the figure was, at the end of the ball game. Now, during the course of games, he may have dipped below .330, but he never walked away from the ballpark under .330 from that point on. Fly ball to left field. Hence the going to bed with comment. That's 2 down here in the 6th inning.
I thought you were going to go into the sleeping habits of Jose Altuve.
Had nothing to do with that at all. Preston Tucker now comes to the plate 0 for 2. 0 for his last 11 now. What do you think of the CN Tower there, Blummer?
Scary.
Little chopper is foul.
I'm with Julia. I'm not a fan of heights.
Yeah, at one time it was the tallest freestanding building in the world. Here in recent years, since about 2010, there have been numerous imitators and some who have gone beyond. Ground ball to the right side. We're done with that story. Little flip underhanded as they get Preston Tucker. Astros go down 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. Blue Jays on top 5-1.
Incredible savings such as all-you-can-eat seats at Minute Maid Park, available every game. This incredible deal offers endless savings and scores you a ticket and unlimited ballpark faves starting at only $35. For more info, visit Astros.com/value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS, guys.
What's with that shot? I thought we were in the Great White North. What is this, Miami Beach?
Ooh, yeah. We can pretend.
Beautiful day in Toronto. 5-1 Blue Jays on top. Josh Donaldson at the plate has the count at 0-2. This Blue Jays offense has started to crank it up. They're on a 3-game winning streak. You add that up, and today's ball game, they've outscored their opposition 26-6 in that span. And that fastball finds at least a mark, as Josh Donaldson will head on down to first base very slowly. Grabs the baseball and flips it away.
Wow, right in the keister. If you're going to get hit, that's a good place to get hit. Right in the wallet.
You know, I played with a guy that used to have his wallet in his pocket, literally. Rico Cardi. That wallet was not going to get away from the big man.
It's interesting. You couldn't fit your wallet in your back pocket, could you?
Exactly.
Hey, Rico was ready, man.
I had George Costanza's wallet, that bad boy. Runner goes from first, pitch a ball, throw down, and not in time. Stolen base for Donaldson. So it took just a pitch to wear off that mark. That kind of feels like a statement.
Yeah, Donaldson plays the game with a little bit of an edge to him. Took offense to being hit in the rear end. Took off for second and got it.
Third stolen base in 3 tries. There goes the voice again. Jose Bautista fouls it back. He's 1 for 2. Four stolen bases for the Blue Jays on the afternoon. Fly ball. Springer there. Retreats and then comes back in. And that's out number 1. Holding at second base is Josh Donaldson. 1 out for Edwin Encarnacion. Now those sunglasses out there, especially in right field, mandatory. Encarnacion has singled, walked, and struck out. That single in the first inning produced the game's first run. Big swing by Encarnacion. And something went wrong on that. Wrist, maybe?
Wrist. Maybe hyperextended that elbow a little bit. Can send a little bit of a stinger down that left arm.
Third base coach Luis Rivera comes in and checks on his slugger.
Well, we've been talking about how they might be at full strength during this series. That would be a tough piece to lose out of this lineup.
That's one of the big ones. He hasn't gotten it on track yet, but when he does, he leaves a huge mark. Slider's tap foul. Wow, pretty good play. One of the players. Oh, and 2 the count. Edwin stays alive, getting a piece.
Right off the toe of Castro. Stay hot.
I actually broke my big toe at least twice.
Can't lose the big toe.
Yeah, on foul tips like that. 1-2. By the way, I was going to say of the CN Tower that it was built some years ago to withstand an 8.5 earthquake and winds of up to 260 miles per hour.
What?
Gets struck by lightning. They say 75 times a year. I think the counter is leaving for a sandwich at times. I would have guessed much higher.
$200 and what mile-an-hour winds?
260 mile-an-hour winds. Those happen, I would think, infrequently around here.
My goodness.
And now the count at 2-2. We're in the 6th inning. Jake Buchanan picked it up for Brett Oberholzer. And a red-hot Chris Colabello waiting on deck. 16-game hitting streak. By the way, I don't know if you've ever been in the CN Tower and the elevator that takes you up to the restaurant.
Nope.
Or where Julia is going to go to hang out over the edge, but 15 miles an hour it
Good
moves
grief.
upward. It moves pretty well. Sliced foul down the right side.
Good grief, Edwin. Just go away. Man.
Julia.
That looks like fun. Still going.
Yeah, it moves quite well, and Julia will be up there for that hang session before she knows it.
We got to get that written into her contract.
Ground ball hit to third. Valbuena checks his runner. Gets the out at first. Second out here in the 6th inning. And now Chris Colabello comes to the plate. Okay, so what's Julia going to do? That's
man.
it right there.
No, that's
kidding
not
me
what I'm
with that?
doing.
Yeah.
No.
That looks like no fun at all.
No, you can see him from here. I'm looking straight up at these people doing it right now. It's called the edge walk. No chance.
Oh, face first. There's fun.
No.
There they are.
Do you see him?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Good grief.
I would pass out.
So what's the pre-edge walk meal?
Sour Patch Kids must be in there somehow, huh?
Either that or a bottle of Johnny Walker.
Pitch gets on by Castro to the backstop. Moving into third is Donaldson. Colabello is 1 for 3 on his day. Should be a wild pitch. Well, I don't know what Julia's all scared about, but
Tough pitch to block for Castro. Well, I think, every good team needs a leader. And you might be that guy.
I don't like where this is going at all. Ball and a strike. Now you can play that game with teammates down in uniforms, but
Hey, every
doesn't work everywhere.
Every unit needs that Sergeant Holka.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah, you could be the big toe.
The big toe.
Lead us.
See, I thought that's who Julia was on this team, but apparently I was wrong. Half swing. Did he go through? Did not. I think he may have.
Guys, I'm your leader when it comes to food.
Yeah, you are that.
Yeah, you are daring in that sense.
See,
that's a good point.
You know, if you're going to lead in one area, you have to take over in others.
Oh, come on. I'll go up there if you guys go up there.
Yeah, that'll happen.
No. Well, we could just call a game from up there. Wouldn't that be fun?
Wow.
Baseball players the size of ants.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the vantage point from Washington, D.C. or Pittsburgh.
The press box is so far up there.
It is.
Little Tapper's foul. 2-2 the count. Yeah, I'm not sure which one is higher, DC or Pittsburgh, but they've got a good battle going on.
Oh, man.
By the way, with Josh Donaldson reaching on the hit by pitch, he's now reached safely in 37 straight games against the Astros. Half swing. This time he went through. Down on strikes, Colabello. That does it for the Blue Jays as they leave a man at third base, but lead it 5-1. Blue Jays on top 5-1. The Astros 34-22, but the Blue Jays making it look tough here in the series. Jays trying to get back to 500. Now, there's George Costanza's wallet.
What are you talking about?
Is that mine?
That's yours. That's every receipt from every road trip and every scorecard you've been keeping throughout the year.
So as he used to be known, the big man, Rico Carney, used to have a wallet that was just about that size that he'd wear in the back left pocket. And nobody dared say, take it out of there. Rico Carney could swing the stick. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody who could hit with his ability with 2 strikes on him.
Or a wallet that size in his back pocket.
It kind of, it was the balancing of the body weight that he needed.
Wow.
Apparently. You know, Rico Carney, a one-time Toronto Blue Jay. Kevin Gaddis leads off, followed by Colby Rasmus and Luis Valbuena. We're in the 7th inning now. And a line shot to center field. Evan Gaddis has his second knock of the afternoon.
Really swinging the bat well. We talked about how he loves having guys on base. It also seems like he's gone up there with a concerted effort to go up the middle. See the way that ball carves back from left to right. Really tells you that he got inside that ball really well.
And now coming out to the mound, Pete Walker, the pitching coach. Aaron Loop, left-hander, warming in the pen for Toronto. It's become the style, hasn't it, where you have to cover your mouth before you can talk on the hill?
Well, I mean, all the deception these days, there's lip readers everywhere.
Because you do not want the opposition to know that you need to throw a strike. Nobody out. Gaddis aboard for Rasmus. Colby Rasmus 0 for 1. He's drawn a walk and popped out. We have not seen a long ball this afternoon. Blue Jays with 8 hits to mount their 5 runs. 7th inning on. It's been all about the Astros offense. Can they work some magic here this afternoon? The only 2 runs they scored last night in the 9th inning. Sometimes that strike zone does expand.
If you're trying to get back to watch the Belmont Stakes.
Who you got in that one?
There's only 7 or 8 horses running in this thing, and I'd have to go with the favorite, the American Pharaoh. I just can't believe they sprint those horses out over 1.5 miles. It's a long way to go.
Yeah.
Not into horses, Ash.
Home to third was kind of out of the question for me at times. Stretched many a triple into a double. You know what? I have to acknowledge I'm really not. Are you into that?
No. Just watch the the Triple Crown races. I watch those and stuff like that. Always made for a good time in the clubhouse between guys picking names out of hats.
That's kind of what it's about. It's a big part of what the NCAA March Madness tournament's about too, having that fun.
Well, it's all about gambling these days in all these sports. You got fantasy baseball, fantasy football, March Madness with the brackets.
It's kind of amazing on Major League Baseball clubs. Come early September, you've got the big draft for the NFL season coming up amongst the players. Shift on for Colby in a 3-2 count, and he pops it up. It's the catcher Navarro. He'll make the catch. Did a nice job turning his back to center field. That's exactly the way you want to do it. Out number 1 here in the 7th inning. And now John Gibbons is coming out. That apparently will be the end of the line for Drew Hutchison as he gets an out in the 7th inning. Blue Jays starters have gone at least 6 innings in 15 of their last 17. And so they're starting to get the work out of the pitching staff as well. Tough club to beat. John Gibbons goes to the bullpen here in the 7th inning with the Blue Jays on top 5-1. We'll be back in just a moment. And he'll face Chris Carter, who will be sent to the plate as a pinch hitter.
Check out some numbers on Aaron Loop, making his 23rd appearance. ERA inflated around that 5 mark. He's only had 1 appearance versus the Astros, and they put it on him. He's got a fastball, 93 miles an hour, slider, changeup.
Been in the big league since 2012. All with the Toronto Blue Jays. Lifetime 9-15, ERA of 3.01. So outside of this season, he's been quite effective. Chris Carter at the plate, hitting .202, pinch hitting for Luis Valbuena, who is now 0 for his last 11, hitting in some tough luck today. It's a 1-1 count on Carter. By the way, Drew Hutchison, not a guy you want to face here at the Rogers Center. In his last 10 starts at home before today, 7-1 with a .217 ERA. Opposition hitters mounting just a 184 mark against him, so clearly he has been tough here pitching in Toronto. And now Hank Conger is in the on-deck circle. 2-1 the count on Carter. One big swing can get you right back in this thing.
Sure can.
There's Conger, who's been swinging the bat pretty well here in recent games. And of course, the Astros, with those 7th, 8th, and 9th inning exploits this year offensively, have been able to come back a number of times, 17 of them on the season. Three and 2 the count. Evan Gattis not likely to be in motion. 1 out. And Carter down on strikes. So that's the 2nd out. Strikeout number 6 of an Astros hitter. And now it brings up Hank Conger.
It's time for the TXU Energy Power Play of the game. And it is Hank Conger. And so it's Baltimore Orioles on that last homestand. Got himself a fastball from Bruce Chen, turned on it, put it up there in the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, the first 2 right-handed home runs of his career have come this year while wearing the Astros orange. Evan Gattis with that leadoff single, still at first base 2 outs later. And a 1-1 count on Conger. The Astros 15-9 even after last night's loss while playing on the road. Blue Jays getting a right-hander up in their pen. And now 1-2 on Conger.
Crossfire and lefty throwing 94 miles an hour.
And by the way, that 15-9 mark away from home by the Astros, the best in the major leagues this year. Texas Rangers and Tampa Bay follow. 2-2. And Steve Delabar, the right-hander we saw in the pen for Toronto. Conger hits it on the ground. Foul outside the bag. Fans here in Toronto cheering, thinking maybe they had the final out of the inning, but ground ball kicked foul.
But Donaldson doing what every third baseman and first baseman for that matter. You got to play through it. Let the umpires make the call.
Conger, by the way, pinch hitting for Jason Castro, who was 0 for 2 on the day. A couple of strikeouts for Jason against Hutchison. And that one was close. Three and 2. That'll put Evan Gattis in motion.
Luke kind of has that Jimmy Key delivery with a heck of a lot more velocity.
There goes Gattis. Pitch fouled back. Good swing by Conger. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Jimmy Key was one of those soft tossing wizards that was really effective as a starter.
Just has that, kind of crossfire, steps in that first base dugout and has that long arm. But Luke creating some serious whip, being able to get it in there at 93, 94 miles an hour.
Again, Gattis in motion. Pitch is drilled, and that finds Donaldson. Second time today an Astros hitter has hit a line scorched shot, but right at Donaldson. And that does it for Houston. In the 7th inning, they failed to score with a base hit and leave a man. 5-1 Blue Jays lead.
Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Defensively, the Astros make a change now. Marwin Gonzalez moves from first to third, taking over for Valbuena. And Chris Carter, who came on as the pinch hitter, is now at first base. Hank Conger does the same thing behind the plate as he takes over for Jason Castro. So you're caught up defensively for the Astros. Jake Buchanan still on the hill as he works into the 7th inning. Trying to keep it here. 5-1 Blue Jays on top. And the first pitch of the inning, as Danny Valencia, the left fielder, way out in front. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Scored run number 2 for the Blue Jays. That came in the 2nd inning when they put 3 on the board, made it 4-0 at the time. He's also had a sacrifice bunt on the day. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Valencia taps it foul, third base side. One more game here in Toronto. That's tomorrow afternoon, a 12:07 start. That's Central Time. Colin McHugh goes against R.A. Dickey. Fly ball left field. To his left is Tucker. He'll put it away, out number 1 here in the 7th. And then it's on to Chicago, as now A.J. Hinch heads on out to the mound. He'll go to the bullpen. So that does it for Jake Buchanan. The Astros go to the bullpen. Joe Thatcher will come in, pitcher number 3 on the afternoon. And he will face Navarro and Pilar here in the 7th inning. 5-1 Jays. He'll face the switch hitting Diano Navarro, followed by Kevin Pillar. Joe Thatcher, 33 years of age.
He's having a pretty good run. Last 13 appearances, only 1 run allowed. Went 2/3 of an inning last night here in Toronto. It was his first outing in a week.
First pitch in for a strike. Navarro is 1 for 2, has drawn a walk, scored a run. Off to a nice start on his year, hitting .278. That'll find the seats. Well, Joe Thatcher has made some good work out of being that left-handed relief pitcher. 9 years in the big leagues. ERA at 3.37. Chad Qualls now gets loose in the Astros pen. The 1-2. Hook foul. Say if you want to get yourself a souvenir baseball here in Toronto, Blue Jays game, sit down that left field side somewhere. Got a lot of guys who will hit it down there.
Or if you want to get out of harm's way, make a run for it, because every foul ball is going to that left field stands. Oh, hey, mixed it up. Equal opportunity. Still looking for it. Oh, he got it. Got a nice.
I got it. You take it.
That is a good gesture.
Ground ball into the shift. Altuve with the play. The bounce throw and dug out nicely by Chris Carter. Second out in the 7th inning. Brings up center fielder Kevin Pillar.
Altuve found himself in some no man's land. Not too often that Altuve has to go for a backhand on that side of the base. And you could see he thought about it, and he had the right idea. Doesn't have one of the strongest arms in baseball, but thought about long hopping it off this turf. But with the turf being so long, it turned into a 2-hopper.
I was wondering, it looked like kind of a little short stroke throw. I wondered if maybe he didn't have a good grip on the baseball, but Chris Carter's done a nice job at first base. Sliders in for a strike. Pillar 2 for 3 on the day. A couple of RBIs. 24 on the year. Rammed to the seats down the left side.
There haven't been too many soft pop-ups, casual fly balls into those left field stands. They've all been pretty much rockets.
Got it pretty well placed, though. They've got the empty seats taking the brunt of the blow and then let it kick softly right into their laps. One ball and 2 strikes. Pillar hitting .245. Blue Jays had Anthony Gose, who the Astros have seen with the Detroit Tigers now playing in center field, swinging the bat well. And I'll bet that's a guy they wish had not gotten away. You saw the woman that was hurt by the flying end of the bat yesterday in Boston at Fenway Park.
Terrible story.
Yeah, the word is now she's in serious condition, and that's a very nice upgrade from what we had heard last night. And we very much wish her well. Down on strikes, Pillar. That does it, a 1-2-3 inning as Thatcher comes on and gets a couple of outs. To the 8th we go. 5-1. Blue Jays lead it.
Couple of tough luck rockets off the bats of Houston Astros. Pretty well defended by third baseman Josh Donaldson. Just that one up nicely, and then just in the right spot off this laser from Hank Conger. Joys of playing third base, and that's why they call it the hot corner.
Could you have made that first play, the first of those 2 line drives, while standing on your feet?
Yes.
Thought so.
I was too big and clunky to make normal plays look hard.
New left fielder for the Blue Jays, Ezekiel Carrera, or Ezekiel if you prefer. Marwin Gonzalez leads off here in the 8th inning. There is work to be done by the Blue Jays bats. Marwin 1 for 2 on the day, snapped an 0 for 11 with that 3rd inning base hit, and scored the lone Houston run. He'll be followed by Jonathan Villar and George Springer. Take a good look, a straightaway defense on the infield for the Blue Jays. Delabar brings the change, has the count at 0-2. Marwin got the start today at first base. Has moved over to third. Charged with an error at first base early in the ball game. Simply could not find the bag.
Still think it was Altuve's fault.
Well, if he had gotten an assist on the play, he would have gotten the error. Otherwise, just no way to rule that. We joke about last night. Jose Altuve still has an error on his slate on a throw that he got an assist on. The out was recorded, and then he somehow got an error.
We're going to cover that on Discovery Channel. Mysteries of the world. It's a shame too. Altuve only had 1 error until that.
Yeah, that's not right.
Mystical error. Now he's got 2, but he's been playing a whale of a second base this year.
Marwin's down on strikes, out number 1 in the 8th. And it'll bring up Jonathan Villar. Well, somebody's got to look at that and say that just can't be, right?
Well, Julia was talking to him as we look at pretty nasty split finger from Delabar to get Marwin Gonzalez. Julia actually asked AJ about that earlier, and AJ had said that, you know, with the quick turnaround with the night-day game, he hasn't really had a chance to develop any kind of, I guess, complaint to get that changed, so I'm sure they'll get on it.
Common sense ought to kick in on that one. This one is rammed down the right field side at the wall. See ya. Solo home run. Jonathan Villar puts a run on the board, his first of the year, and this ball was hammered.
That was a laser.
(5-2) now. The Astros draw a run closer.
You go up there and look for a fastball, you get it. This is what happens when you don't miss it. Just great to see. Villar getting that left-handed bat going. We saw him hit a line shot to left field for a knock. Now he turns on one for a homer.
Again, the first long ball of the year for Jonathan Villar. Just his 7th RBI. And that is a great sign. He was starting to look like kind of the classic Judy hitter is what they used to call him all the time from the left side of the plate. But well, that turns that kind of thinking around. Ball and a strike on Springer, who's 0 for 3.
Well, we know with Jonathan Villar, the talent is there. It's just how do you get it to show up on a consistent basis?
See where Matt Wieters came back to the Orioles. I believe last night had a couple of hits, 2 RBIs. It's going to make the Orioles stronger. And how about the ambidextrous pitcher with the Oakland A's yesterday? I don't know how you pronounce the name. Pat Venditti. Venditte. Actually pitched in a ball game right-handed and left-handed.
pitch with multiple hands. He's got multiple pronunciations of his last name.
Yeah. Maybe it's one pronunciation from the right side and the other from the left.
Could be.
Towering pop-up shallow in center. Pilar comes on and makes the catch. 2 down. It'll bring up Jose Altuve as Springer is now 0 for 4.
I'm sorry. I thought it was interesting talking about the switch-handed pitcher. Who makes the decision on which arm he's thrown with? Because he had in this situation with the switch hitter where he came up hitting right-handed, and then Venditte, we'll call him today, went out there and said, I'm going to throw right-handed. So the hitter went back in to get his left-handed helmet, causing all kinds of issues and confusion. But I think ultimately the umpire threw it to the pitcher and said, you got to make a decision which arm you're going with.
You know, if you had asked me, I would have said that there was a rule in place that said a pitcher had to choose in an inning which arm he was going to throw with and throw the entire inning with. But apparently I would have been wrong. But he went from hitter to hitter, as you're saying, and pretty intriguing.
Yeah, and so far it's not just a gimmick. He was getting outs.
Jose Altuve 2 for 3 on the day. With that out, flying out to left field in the 6th inning, the batting average dropped to an even 300 for Jose. That's one of those days where you'd love to see him get 3 hits, push it above that 300 mark, and stay there. Reigning American League batting champion. Ground ball to third. That speed is going to factor in, and he beats it. When the third baseman Donaldson backed up, in my mind there was just no shot to get Altuve.
That's really all Donaldson could do on that ground ball. Kind of a high chopper down there. You try and charge it. You catch it off a lip. You got that dirt pit in front of you. There's a lot of things going on these AstroTurf fields. You can see he didn't want to get eaten up. Hitting real close to that lip.
John Gibbons, the skipper of the Blue Jays, comes out. Steve Delabar is done with his day's work. Jose Altuve has a 3 for 4 afternoon. But the Astros need much more as they trail it here. They'll go to Osuna once again in the bullpen, and the Astros got a load of this guy last night. 5-2, Jays on top.
Back at Jonathan Villar, hitting a rocket to right field. 77th home run for the Houston Astros. First on the season for Jonathan Villar. Good to see the young man taking a fastball, turning on it, being rewarded for it.
And now the right-hander that came on and got the final 3 outs for the Blue Jays last night, Roberto Osuna, comes on, and he looked like dynamite in last night's game.
He's got the numbers to back it up, too. Great ERA, whip under 1. That batting average against at 172.
Preston Tucker at the plate gets a changeup. What goes on in your head at that point?
Well, you know, he's trying to ambush the fastball because Osuna can run it up there about 95 miles an hour. And he's also got that changeup and slider.
He had that live four-seam rider last night. There it is. Even at 93, you can see that thing just planes out. Josh Fields getting loose in the Astros pen. (5-2). The Astros could use a little more damage making here in the 8th inning. Good swing as Tucker fouls it back.
This is a guy who could do it right here. We've seen 2 bombs, although we've only seen them in a pinch hit situation. But the pop is in there for Preston Tucker.
Is it ever? You watched him take batting practice?
Yeah, it's malevolent.
It is that. The 1-2. Got him. High cheese blown on by. And so Osuna has gotten 4 outs all via the strikeout against the Astros in 2 ball games. 5-2. Blue Jays on top.
Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Ash?
Anything else you want to add, Julia? Like your decision to go up there and do the tower tomorrow?
No, not ready yet. You haven't done me into it.
At least she's decisive. It's 5-2. The Blue Jays lead over the Astros. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Fields comes on to work it now. Pitcher number 4 for Houston.
Pitching Wells pitched a scoreless inning in relief last Thursday against Baltimore. Struck out 2. Scoreless in 12 of his last 13 appearances.
Yeah, racking up the strikeouts, 23 in 14 innings. And that's good. Part of the reason right there. Like Osuna has that just plain alive heater. Ryan Goins, the 9-hitter at the plate, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Has an 0-2 count. For the Blue Jays, it's their closer, Brett Cecil, loosening in the pen. He's a left-hander. And for the Astros in the 9th inning, it's 4, 5, and 6. Evan Gattis, Colby Rasmus, and Chris Carter. Jake Marisnick, the only bat left on the Astros bench. Goins down on strikes. So another punch out recorded by Josh Fields. He has been a machine.
Yeah, he's not trying to dazzle you with anything. He just goes in there and overpowers you with that fastball.
Seen less of his changeup this year than last year. Effective when he throws it. But he's got that terrific curveball to go with the great heat. One out, top of the order. Jose Reyes is 1 for 3 with a walk. A couple of stolen bases on the year. Make that 2 for 4 for Reyes. And now that running game might come into play again. Now, he makes a big difference at the top of this Toronto batting order. And this is another difference maker, Josh Donaldson. 0 for 2, a sac fly. He's also been hit by a pitch. He's stolen a base. Just a perfect day for baseball. There goes Reyes. Throw down from Conger, not close. Stolen base, 3rd of the day for Reyes, 7th on the year, and he has not been caught yet.
You knew it was just a matter of time. Pretty good jump.
Well, don't forget about Reyes now at second base because he loves to try to bag third. He's already picked up one of those today. The Astros may lead the league in stolen bases, but the bags have been about the Toronto Blue Jays today. They have 5. Snap throw, and it was close.
Well, Altuve's picking on Reyes out there. It's the second time they've tried to pick him off.
That's a good job by Fields, actually just going ahead and releasing. Ground ball, third base side foul. Marlins over there now. Josh Fields, the kind of pitcher that might have an advantage that other pitchers don't have, at least against guys like Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion. That fastball that possibly can beat them, but I would imagine you'll see some big swings from this part of the order.
It's all about timing. Bautista's got a big leg kick. Josh Donaldson has a big leg kick.
Another snap throw to second base. Did you find that pitchers who threw really hard brought out your biggest swing without really intending to?
Yeah, I think that's the issue when you're facing guys that throw extremely hard. You always hear be quicker, not stronger.
Right.
But you see that big windup and you see that power fastball coming at you. You have a tendency to get a little more on that load. It has a tendency to slow down that swing a little bit.
Three balls and a strike. Bautista waits on deck. And the strike, well spotted outside Black.
And that fastball that blew up Donaldson that he fouled off is the reason. Watch his front foot. Kind of almost steps in the bucket a little bit towards third base, and Fields does a better job of painting that fastball in the outside corner.
3-2 count.
And the reason for that is when a guy throws hard, the last thing you want to do is get jammed.
And got him. Just blew it on by. 95 on the Heat.
That is just mano-y-mano right there. Reach back and let her rip.
Josh Donaldson now at risk of snapping a 10-game hitting streak. Jose Bautista has a 10-gamer. He added to a 9-game streak with a second-inning base hit. 1 for 3 on the day. I don't know that Fields with his stuff thinks about pitching around anybody.
I don't think he'd have to.
And I think he's aware of that. It's a good fastball, but away.
Well, that fastball he beat Donaldson with wasn't on an edge. It wasn't up in the zone. It was just a standard fastball right down the heart of the plate. Might have been down a little bit, but still a great pitch for a hitter to hit. But still, he has enough velocity on that fastball to get it by him. And he might be a little bit deceptive. Comes way over the top with his fastball.
There's the big swing by Bautista. 2-1 the count.
And again, a good hitter, Bautista, 2-0 count, gets a fastball, and he gets it by him. Probably upset because he chased that pitch up out of the zone.
Justin Smoke has a bat in the on-deck circle. That's Edwin Encarnacion's spot. And you would have to think that Edwin must be ailing in some way. 2-2 the count now.
Yeah, we saw Edwin drop the bat on a swing, so it makes you wonder.
Now, Smoke is the best defensive first baseman for the Blue Jays, but that wouldn't necessitate bringing him on as a pinch hitter for Edwin, that's for sure. And of course, Encarnacion, the DH anyway. Two and two the count. Fields trying to strike out the side.
Actually like that 2-2 breaking ball. Bautista's seen a lot of fastballs, maybe getting that timing down a little bit. Josh throws a wrinkle at him. It was a pretty good one too. Just change the view of the hitter, because you know he wants to come back with that fastball right here.
Fields brings it. Fastball fouled back just above us. All the way to the upper deck. Well, you talk about the classic power versus power. This is it right here.
This would be a good guy for George Springer to kind of emulate a little bit.
Yeah.
Prodigious power, but still has a great command of the strike zone.
Draws the walk. So Bautista heads on down to first base. And it brings up the 4 spot. Justin Smoke is the pinch hitter for Encarnacion. Big guy with plenty of power, and yet still looking to really find it in the big leagues. Shift on defensively. 3 infielders on the right side. Big swing by Smoke. 3-run second inning for the Blue Jays. The difference in the ball game. Toronto has not hit a home run. The Astros have one from Jonathan VR. And again, it's Gaddis, Rasmus, and Carter due up in the ninth for Houston. 0-2 the count. The Astros came into play today 22-12 against right-hand starters, but they're in jeopardy of having that number slip a bit. Ball and 2 strikes. Shadow now starting to creep onto the field in center field, has come beyond the center fielder Colby Rasmus. Two and two. Chris Colabello, the red-hot hitter for the Jays, waiting on deck. Fields doesn't want to go any further. Three and two the count. Runners will be in motion. Fields had an 0-2 count.
Ooh.
Very close. Callable.
Surprised Conger didn't get that call.
Runners go. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off.
To the left side.
Marwin gives a chase. Ball game has not picked up a really nice pace here this afternoon, but still a game the Astros have a chance to get back into. That home run by VR in the 8th inning, making it 5-2. Colin McHugh and R.A. Dickey tomorrow afternoon at 12:07 Central Time start. And there go the runners way early. Line drive past Carter. And this could score 2. 1-run scores. Here comes the second to the plate. The relay by Altuve not in time. A 2-run double by Justin Smoke, the pinch hitter. And the Blue Jays expand the lead. It's now 7-2 Toronto.
Well, you know what you're getting from Josh Fields. As you see Reyes' jump, it's a pretty easy jump when the third baseman's playing shortstop and nobody to cover third. But Smoke seeing a bunch of fastballs in a row, knowing that Josh Fields is going to go to that pitch, and that count right there, was able to turn on it.
It's a nice job by Bautista to really dig from his first stride. Well, now the assignment has gotten much more difficult. 7-2 Blue Jays.
It's not something you normally see from the Astros bullpen.
Bullpen that has been second best in the American League, trailing only Kansas City.
And in their defense, they're usually locking down wins
Yes.
with leads. They're not used to pitching from behind like this.
It's a ball and a strike on Colabello. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Had a 5th inning 2-bagger. That double was number 9 on the year for Colabello. Ground ball left side. Tough play at short. VR makes it on the run and got him. Nice play by Carter. And that'll do it for the Blue Jays. Get 2 big runs in the 8th inning. Go to the 9th inning. 7-2 Toronto. And now a new pitcher, left-hander Brett Cecil, comes on to work it for the Blue Jays.
He's got some pretty good numbers on the year. Lefties are hitting .375 against him. Guess what righties are hitting? .186. 37 of his last 40 appearances have been scoreless. Over those 40 appearances, he's got a 1.26 ERA.
A.J. Hinch no doubt knows the numbers, and yet Jake Marisnick has grabbed a bat. He will pinch hit for Colby Rasmus, the 2 spot in the order. Evan Gattis starts things and takes a ball.
Cecil will work with a 90 to 92 mile an hour fastball. He's got a cutter, curveball, and a changeup.
Ball on the strike. Once upon a time, Brett Cecil, a starter for the Blue Jays. He had a really good year. And throwing harder and harder as the years have gone by. Got a great changeup, and that's it. I believe, unless that was the slider. No, that's the change grip. 15-game winner back in 2010. Went 15-7 that year. Gattis battling to stay alive. Evans had a nice day, 2 for 3 with the bat. A couple of line drives, one to left, one to center. The 1-2 again, got him on strikes. 9 strikeouts by Toronto pitching. That's 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches with a swing and miss, and then just climbs the ladder on Evan with the heater.
Jake Marisnick, the pinch hitter, takes over for Colby Rasmus. Rasmus 0 for 2 on the day. Drew a walk. That came in the 2nd inning. First pitch swinging, pops it up left side, foul territory. And Josh Donaldson has the answer for that one. 2 outs. And now it's down to an out as Chris Carter comes to the plate. Carter came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and struck out. Carter had that hitting streak snap last night. 12-gamer went down the drain. Half swing, and going through is Carter. Carter with 10 bombs on his season. Don't need the long ball right here. Need some base runners.
It's going to take quite a few and some 2-out lightning from the Astros to make anything happen in this inning.
Don't know what the largest ever 2 outs in the 9th inning, nobody on base scenario that produced a comeback win was, but I want to say like 9 runs way back when. And now 2-2 the count on Chris Carter. Fans on their feet here at the Rogers Center. Carter half swing. Did he go through? Yes, he did. Taking the call down at first base, Sam Holbrook. A couple of strikeouts for Cecil as he locks it down. A 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Toronto Blue Jays have taken the first 2 games of the series here against the Astros. The final this afternoon, 7-2. Blue Jays win it.